Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and I know you saw from the thumbnail, what's it called? From the title that we're going back to my Storygraph. I don't know if y'all have ever done the Storygraph reading challenges. If you're on Storygraph and you look at the top, it says reading challenges, and you can go through, like let me click on it, and it'll show the ones that I have signed up for, which is the Buzzword Reading Challenge for 2024, and then 2 more that we're about to talk about. But you can browse, and when you click on the browse, it will literally let you pick a category. There are tons of challenges, so have fun, join some challenges if you want to. Let me talk about the 2 randomizing ones that I wanted to do. Now this one is going to add 2 books every month to my TBR, and the other one also will add 2 books. So I'm going to make a page in my reading journal to track the randomize-ish your TBR 2024. So this one was hosted by Molly B. She says, if you have a long TBR, pull the prompts at the beginning of each month. You can catch any new books you've added to your TBR throughout the year rather than pulling all of them at the beginning of the year, because in November, if you pulled all your books in January, then the books that you added between January and November are not going to be on there to pull. So each month I will look at the prompt and pick the book. So that's what we're going to do today. So here are the 2 prompts for January. The first one says, let's start off the year with a quick win. Filter your TBR to books under 300 pages with a fast pace. So let's see what we have. We're going to go back over here to our search and filter like we always do. Okay, right here it says paced. We're going to do fast pace, and then for pages less than 300, and we're going to filter. So I normally have 1,740 books on this list, and that gets us to 230. So we're going to pick a number 1 to 230.
It's 166.
Okay, it's going to take me a minute to count to 166 books, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, this is up to 160 right now, and so it's 166. So there's 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. Ilona Andrews' Magic Stars, which is a Grey Wolf series. I remember nothing about this. I don't know why I put it on this list other than Ilona Andrews is a really good writer, and I wanted to read some of her stuff. Okay, so when you pick the book that you want, I can hit add to reading challenge, and I want this one to be my randomized-ish January prompt. And then I just save the changes, and there it is on my thing. So now for prompt number 2. If you're anything like me, you have a TBR that has been in the works for years. Mine started 8 years ago. Reading tastes change over time, and I know that I certainly haven't seen many of the books on my TBR for ages. I suggest that for this prompt, you make yourself a cup of tea or coffee, put some relaxing music on, and spend 30 minutes or a time period that is reasonable for you cleaning up your TBR in whatever way you like. Nice. I'm actually going to do this, but I'm going to work on this at a different time, not during this video. I'll put it in my planner for this week because there are a lot of books still on my TBR that I read in 2023 and maybe even before then. But because I have not been marking them down on Storygraph, I don't have them marked as read in here. They still say want to read or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to see if I can lower that number just by marking the things off that I've actually finished. And then one of the challenges that I have for myself, if you saw my journal flip through, is I have books right here, 50 of them, that are on my Storygraph TBR. And if I don't read them, they're the oldest 50 on my list. And if I don't read them by the end of 2024, then they get removed from my Storygraph. Okay, and then we have the other reading challenge. So actually for January, that only means I added 1 book to my TBR, so that's nice. Then we have the reading randomizer from Thraka Boom, who created it, and they say this idea was taken wholesale from Texas Size Reads, so it's designed for TBRs of more than 100 books. Well, we already know mine is more than 100, so you must start and finish each book. It says in 2022, but this one is clearly the 2024 version, so I'm sure that's what it means. A DNF still counts because the purpose of this is to get your books off of your TBR. Audiobooks count. You must use the random generator for the prompts that say that you need to. And you have to use the first number that's generated. Don't try to like go through and pick other ones. Each month also here has a bonus prompt. So that's what we're going to do. The first one says, generate a random number from 1 to the number of books on your TBR. That's going to be very hard because we all know how many books are on here. Oh, I don't want to go through and count all those books. Okay, 738 books are on this list. Here we go. Pick a number 1 to 1,738.
That would be 1,034.
Okay, well, at least I can go backwards. So I'm going to start with the latest added because this book right here would be number 1738. So I'm going to count down to 1,034. Okay, I have finally made it to number 700, and I have to pick 704. That would be actually 704 is what's left after I pick number 1034. And in the middle of finding this, I also went through and took out all the books that I read. So I did like the other thing that I was going to do. I did it for this one. So here we go. Goliath is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Digging Up Love, Taste of Love by Chandra Bloomberg. This was recommended by Jess Owens, and apparently I found it on Goodreads, or I have it on Goodreads. I don't know why I wrote Goodreads on there. But if I go here, I can add it to my reading challenge, and it is the reading randomizer. And this is for the first January prompt. And now we're ready to see what the second prompt, see it shows me when I come over here, books that I've added to the prompt. And so the second January prompt says, sort your TBR by date added in ascending order, generate a random number from 1 to 100 and choose the book on the corresponding row. I don't know what row means. Surely it just means choose the book from 1 to 100. So at least I'm not going to have to count to 700 like I just did. Pick a number 1 to 100.
The answer is 12.
Okay, my phone's being very nice to me. Let's find book number 12. So I got my 1,700. How many did I have? 1,738 or 1,740 down to 1,691 books. So I have already taken almost 50 books off the list before I even start this year. So I'm picking number 12, unless it's already on a TBR, in which case I'll just keep going down till I find a book that's not. Okay, In the Bleak Midwinter is number 10. Fable is number 12. It is on a TBR. The next one that's not is What's Mine and Yours by Naima Koster. And it just looks like it's a contemporary fiction. So add it to my reading challenge for reading randomizer, bonus prompt, and save the changes. There we go. So now, like I just showed you, when I go to my reading randomizer, it shows me the books that I've chosen for it. Randomize-ish TBR, same thing. I've got my first book. And then the second one, I'm not adding any books because I've actually done it. It says, oh no, I didn't. I didn't look at this. After your predetermined amount of time is up, sort your full TBR by title and then generate a random number 1 to the number of books on my TBR. I'm going to have to count these books again. Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I'm sad about this, but I have 1,691 books. I'm going to sort A to Z. There we go. Wait, am I doing titles or authors? Hold on. Titles, A to Z. Okay. I did authors. Titles, A to Z. Pick a number between 1 and 1,691.
The answer is 1,512.
Okay, good. So that's not going to be that far, but I'm going to sort mine Z to A because I'm going to be counting backwards. Okay, so I only have to count to 179. That's going to be much easier. Okay, we're at 170 and I've got to get to 179. 1, 2, 7, Lady Killers. Oh my gosh. Lady Killers #1 is on here twice, and I've already read it. So I've got to add this one as read and then remove this one, which means The Talented Miss Farwell is the one, and it's already on a TBR. So I'm going to be reading Ironclads by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And it's a sci-fi, and it was recommended by All Booked Up. I think it's Aaron. And so that's it. I'm so excited. I'm going to add it to my reading challenge. So I've got my 4 books for January. Oh, what's wrong? Let me wait for this to load. Okay. And this one goes in the randomize-ish on the bonus prompt. I cannot believe that I thought it was not adding a book to my TBR. So anyway, there are my 2 books for reading randomizer. And then on the randomize-ish, I have to wait for it to load. There we go. Here are my 2 books for that one as well. And so then I'll do the same thing for February. So I'll be back to check in February. I'll let you know how these books went. And then I'll let you see what I'm picking for February. It probably will not be until the end of February because I'm just now finding this at the end of January.